She's a global warming extremist who's whipping up student strikes, who's just the inspiration for them. Even though she's just 16 years old, she's unelected, she's completely extreme. She has just been invited to lecture the head of the United Nations. She's met the Pope to promote her global warming climate strike. She's just addressed the European Parliament. And now she's addressed the huge climate strike and talking to senior politicians in London. Here she is.
And for way too long, the politicians and the people in power have gotten away with not doing anything at all to fight the climate crisis and the ecological crisis. But we will make sure that they will not get away with it any longer.
Again, complete rubbish, because politicians have in fact done far too much about this, global warming fake crisis. Michael, the question really is, what has happened to the notion of leadership, that all these world bodies are getting a 16-year-old, right? And it's been happening for a year, so when she was 15, and listening to her like she was the holy fool, some sort of prophet come from nowhere. To me, it's like a collective loss of sanity.
Well, soon she'll be saying even the rainfall that we receive won't fill the dams.
And the river systems.
The river systems. That extreme group wants zero emissions in Britain by 2025. Now, I just read a report which says you can get to zero emissions in Britain by 2030. That's the good news, Andrew. They get to zero emissions if they build 130,000 wind turbines, which will take up twice the space of Scotland, or Wales. No, Wales, I think it is. I mean, this is just extreme fatuous nonsense. We keep hearing about these vague comments about the crisis, the extinction that's happening, and people are getting away with this, the media lapping up all of this stuff, scaring people to death, the atoll,
Michael, you're just underlining my question. You're not answering it, because Miranda, Michael's right. Now, here's the reason, right? He gives, look, it's completely unreasonable, and is completely right. But the whole point is, reason doesn't matter. This is just beyond reason. Here is, like I say, I'm not being rude to her. I'm talking about a concept through history, the holy fool, the simple person who just sees what others don't, treated like a god, a kid lecturing world bodies. Don't you find that rather frightening?
It is really frightening, and youthful idealism is wonderful, and I do admire this young woman. She's 16 and she really believes what she's doing, and she thinks that she has to do it. She's being noble and courageous because she's been lied to all her life. She's been fed a diet of propaganda. Her mother is a climate zealot. Her family is using her. So is the climate industry. They're exploiting her and her idealism. And you've seen through history where youthful idealism misdirected ends in tragedy. And unfortunately, this young girl, she's spoken herself about having serious mental health issues, and for her to be put out there by her parents in such a sort of a famous and stressful environment is, I think, really risky. And I think it's irresponsible of the Pope, of all people. Instead of telling her to get back to school, he's encouraging her, telling her, good on you for wagging school and encouraging kids around the world to wag school. I mean, if he wants to direct her idealism to something that's actually, of the Catholic Church, he should be saying to her, well, why don't you care a little bit more about all the millions of aborted babies, or the unborn babies that are killed? At least that's something concrete.
Or world poverty.
Agreed. Miranda Devine, Michael Kroger, thank you both so much for your time.